My daughter wants to know the answer to this. In our Catholic Church, I believe it is said that we have the ability to make our own choices. Yet, how can we make our own life choices with God already knowing the destiny of our soul? And this is many thanks from Angela. So that whole idea of some level of predestination or control or the elect versus free will.
Yeah, this gets into probably the most complex theological question that there is, and it's called God's knowledge of future contingents. And the church is very clear on this. God does know what our destiny is, and so you say, well, how can that be? Because after all, I'm in the present moment. It's my free choice in the present moment. How could God be aware of a decision that I haven't made yet if I'm truly free? And the church answers that by saying that God's notion of time is different from your notion of time. God's awareness of the full context of the horizon of time is very, very different from your viewpoint of the present moment, the unfolding of your choices in the present moment. God does not see the unfolding of your present choices as something that is happening in the future. He sees the unfolding of your choices through a non-temporal lens that actually enables him, to, as it were, collapse into a single moment the variety of choices that you are making over the course of what you perceive to be the time, both internal time and external time of the physical universe, which God is not limited by. He's simply not limited by. So, in other words, you can freely choose, things going in the present, going into your future, and you can do that continuously. But God doesn't see your future as the future. God sees, the whole of time, as it were, in an eternal now, to use the words of St. Augustine. And because of that, He can have knowledge of future contingents without interrupting your free choice. Now, Calvin got really stuck on this, and John Calvin, and he basically could not fathom that view of a future that was not unfolding for God as it unfolds for us in a temporal succession. He couldn't conceive of it. And because he couldn't conceive of it, right, and by the way, we have all kinds of views today in science where we talk about time in very different ways. But let's go back to Calvin for a second. And he couldn't conceive it. And because he couldn't conceive of it, he really thought that God's awareness of the future would absolutely have to condition the choice that you make in your present. That's not God's present. And God's knowledge of your choice, in His future is not your future. He didn't see that, and because of that, He really believed that you were completely predestined and that free choice was really an illusion because it was canceled out by God's knowledge of future contingents. But you can actually have both. If you begin to conceive that God is outside of time and does not have a future or a present in a succession, does not experience the present and the future in a succession as you do. So I would not worry about God's knowledge of the future, and at the same time, that conditioning your ability to choose right now, fully anew, without any precondition of that choice for your present and your future.